Yeah, I just finished watching this really cool movie. I don't know if you ever saw it before. Double Jeopardy. All right, it's with Ashley Judd, Tommy Lee Jones, and it's got such a great screenplay, man. It's an older movie. What it is, she's married to this guy who's like in tremendous debt, and he's got to come up with like millions of dollars, all this stuff. What he does is he fakes his own death, right? They rent out this big sailboat. He makes it seem like someone came aboard, stabbed him, threw him overboard. Long story short, it looks, because she was holding the knife, she was in shock. The wife, she saw like blood footprints all over the boat. She's like, "Where's my husband?" She saw a knife on the floor filled with blood. She picked it up. Bad mistake. And then the coastal police came, and they obviously saw her with the knife. So she became obviously number one suspect that she killed her husband. And it turns out she gets convicted for it. Now, she goes to jail. They have a little baby boy. She asks her best friend to adopt him. And it turned out that the husband had a $2 million life insurance policy. So she signed over her life insurance policy to her best friend. Little does she know that so what happens is the best friend moves, doesn't tell her. She has to track her down. She has to like make believe that she's her. She calls up. She worked in the school system, a best friend. She's like, "Oh, I didn't get a severance check. I just want to make sure you have my new address." So she was able to track down the address that she moved, and she got her phone number. And long story short, while they're on the phone talking, her husband, this is now Ashley Judd's husband, who faked his own death, walks in. The kid, Maddie, goes, "Daddy, Daddy." So she's like, "Nick." This is her husband. She drops the phone. So it's so funny while she's in jail, because I think she only got charged something like 7 years because they couldn't directly proved it wasn't like a first degree murder. I don't know. It was because she ultimately, there was no body found. I don't know, whatever the case may be. She didn't get like a life sentence. It was like something 7, 8 years, and she got out. What happened was the lady in jail told her she was a former lawyer. She said, "You ever hear something called double jeopardy, honey?" She's like, "What's that?" It means you cannot be convicted and trialed for the same charge twice. So in other words, you were already convicted for murdering your husband. So once you get out of jail, you could track his ASS down. You could shoot him in the middle of Times Square, and nobody could do nothing to you. It's so funny, man. So like she goes into a halfway house, like Lou, right? Anyway, I had to throw that in. You know me, but she's Tommy Lee Jones is like, he's the boss in charge of all the women that are living in this halfway house. So long story short, she escapes. She's out to get her husband. I don't want to ruin the whole thing for you. It's such a great movie. Just if you get a chance, Double Jeopardy with Ashley Judd and Tommy Lee Jones. I don't want to say the whole movie. Just say it has an amazing ending, and it's really, really a great movie. Apefather gives it a 10 out of 10. I love it, baby. Check it out.